Hey everybody, John Foss. Very excited to be talking with Bob and Mac Woodruff about their new show, Rogue Trip, which is available right now on Disney Plus, so check it out. And Bob, first of all, set this up for the people out there who may not know. Back in 2006, you were a war correspondent in Iraq and suffered a major head injury. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, I was reporting out of Iraq after about the eighth time, and I was hit by a bomb along with my team, and I was knocked out for about 36 days. I mean, everybody assumed, even my family, that I was not going to survive, but I was able to miraculously come back and report again. And now we've got this chance to travel with my son, who was 14 years old at that time when I was hit, and to go out on the road together as my colleague is what he is now, to see parts of the world that I had been reporting as war zones before. But we just want to show different aspects in order so that people knew about it.
And Mac, for you, I believe you were only 14 at the time. Do you remember the thoughts that were going through your head when you received that phone call, when you were told that this had happened to your father? And do you remember the thoughts and the feelings that were going through your head at this time?
Oh, yeah. I was actually at Disney World at the time, and it was the worst day of my life. I mean, worst day of my family's life and worst day of my dad's life. So very formative moment, but I think it also helped put everything in perspective for me and realize that family time is the best time. And at an age of 14, that could be typically a selfish time in someone's life where they just want to hang out with their friends and leave their family's house. So for me, it was kind of the opposite, and we formed closer bonds. And so every moment that I got to spend with my dad after that has been just incredibly lucky, and I'm grateful for it. And we somehow got to make this TV show together, and it turned out pretty well.
Yes, I'm not even supposed to be here right now. You know, I should not still be alive. But now look at this. It's got this kind of gift. It's a real blessing.
And Bob, you traveled a lot of these places, these countries, as a war correspondent and saw the worst that they had to offer. And now you're going back and you're checking them out again and finding out that they actually have some really amazing things to offer as well. Tell us what you saw.
Well, we went to Colombia, and then we went to Ethiopia, Lebanon, Pakistan, Papua New Guinea, and then Ukraine. 3 of those countries I'd been to before reporting about some kind of crisis, some kind of conflict or war zone. But all of these countries did have elements it's things that we never really quite expected to see. We just want to make sure people out there know that these countries are not dangerous places or remote places no one wants to see. Everyone wants to see that these cultures are special in so many ways, and people who are comfortable to do so, be great to go see these parts of the world.
And that's my next question. So you've shown that these places have some really great places to offer, but people from the outside may think that these are dangerous areas that they definitely should stay away from, should not travel to. Would you say you would recommend to people out there that they should come to these places for recreation, vacation, and family outings?
Yeah, I think, when you choose a country like this, you just have to do a little bit more research and maybe just pick your spots a little more carefully. But, every country has something that's worth seeing. And just because a country has been depicted as dangerous in the past doesn't mean it still is. I mean, nothing's perfect still, but these countries are very, very much worth seeing. And hopefully you'll see that on the show when you watch it.
Pakistan was all about war coverage there for me for so many times. And we got a chance to, go to the Swat Valley, which the conflict was centered. And we were able to go meet with the people. They gave us, they clearly showed that we had a lot of fun together. And we actually learned in Pakistan to learn how to play polo, which I didn't realize one of the hardest sports to try to learn how to play. So we did the fun stuff in countries that are kind of somewhat sad, my previous trips.
And Mac, this question is for you. In the trailer, at one point you mentioned your 10-year-old self would be jealous of this experience. So I guess my question is, when you were younger and your father was rising the ranks as a celebrity journalist, anchor, he was everywhere, and maybe you didn't see him as much and didn't have these opportunities. Tell us what you were talking about when you said that, and what did this experience mean to you to spend this time with your father?
Yeah, I think growing up, I saw my dad on TV a lot, and he would disappear for 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time because his job was incredibly demanding. And at the time that he was the foreign correspondent, there was just so much international news going on, especially after 9/11. So I saw him a lot from a distance. And then when he was injured, the major silver lining was we got to spend a ton of time together. and he started focusing more on family time, and he would still go out and report, and he still does all the time. But that started to become a little bit more important to me to get to spend time with him. So I think in the show, when I referenced my 10-year-old self being jealous, I don't think I ever would have had the idea to make a TV show with him and get to spend 4.5 months together. But I'm so grateful that we did.
And I think your 20-year-old twin sisters are probably jealous.
That too.
In the present time.
And Bob, for you mentioned earlier in this interview that you shouldn't be alive right now, that you're getting a second chance. If you wouldn't have gotten the second chance, it's very possible that you would have never had this opportunity to spend so much family time and to put family so high on your priority list. So being able to have that chance, and specifically in this situation, spending so much time with your son, Mac, what does this mean to you?
I kind of have to keep pinching myself, just to be doing serious reporting out there as I do, and then have a chance to do it with my family is a real gift, because after all these years, it's nice to have a chance not just to work with this guy who's my son, but also to work with him as a colleague. He's a photographer. He's into production, and he's got this same kind of addiction to travel that I've always had. So the frightening thing is he's too much like me. Look at that. We can say the same time. So I don't know whether to encourage him to do this kind of work that I've always done, but he seems to be loving the locations that we're hitting now.
And where do you guys go from here? I mean, Bob, do you continue reporting? Mac, it sounds like you have some of the same passions that your dad does. Where do you see yourself going in the future? After the show, where do you guys go from here?
He never stopped. I mean, he's
still ABC. He's still reporting away.
And for me, I actually just moved home from Australia. Just moved back to New York from Australia, where I was living for the past 2 years and working as a photographer and videographer. So I plan on continuing to do that here in the States, and we'll see what opportunities present itself.
All right. Well, Bob, Mac, Woodruff, thank you guys so much. Twin Cities, make sure you check out Rogue Trip. It's available right now on Disney+. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.